Of volunteers who joined clinical COVID-19 vaccine trials. Some of those volunteers live right here in the tri-state, and this morning I am joined by Melanie, a 16-year-old volunteer who participated in a trial at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. And Melanie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It is just an honor to talk to you, and I hardly know where to begin, but let's just start at, I guess, what was your beginning? How did you sort of come to the conclusion that you wanted to do this, and what was the process like to make it happen?
Yeah, I think seeing both my parents participate inspired me to as well. I knew how important it was that diversity was represented. And so being of color, but also a teenager, it's so important that we're represented in this trial as well. But Cincinnati Children's Hospital has been extremely supportive, as well as friends and families. But it's just been awesome. You know, I have an app that they gave me to monitor symptoms, a 24-hour hotline with any complications. So it's just been really awesome and a positive experience overall.
You know, you said your mom and dad went through it as well. How did they feel? Like, it's one thing as a mom or dad to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be brave and take this step. It's another thing for your child to want to do the same thing. What was their reaction?
I think they really just respected my decision. You know, my mom specifically left it up to me to decide, but after my first shot, I didn't have any side effects, and I was well aware that it could not give me COVID, which is just a large misconception of the vaccine.
Let's talk about going through that process when you're at Children's as well. At this point, do you know whether you got a placebo or whether you actually got the vaccine?
I do not. So all the participants are blinded, so we're not sure if we got a placebo or the real vaccine, which is important for the data too. But no, I monitor my symptoms for a week after the shot, and I've only got my first shot and had no side effects, but I'll go back in mid-December for a second shot, so hopefully no side effects there either.
You know, when you see probably every day in the news along with everybody else, so we're just waiting to hear from the FDA at this point, how does it feel to you knowing you have been sort of part of this process that could help bring our country, really help bring our world out of a very difficult time?
I think it's inspiring, especially being so young, to be a part of that change and that push towards normalcy. As a teenager, it's kind of hard seeing, you know, you turn on the TV and I see the U.S. hitting a new daily record each day and passing 200,000 deaths. And it's just a really hard time to live through. So anything that I could do to, you know, help this vaccine get closer to the publicly being administered, I want to be part of it.
You know, I have a 16-year-old at home, and I was just talking to my wife the other night about how difficult it's got to be that age and not be able to go hang out with your friends whenever you want and go do the things that 16-year-olds want to do. What's that been like for you outside of just the trial, and what's it been like when your friends heard that you were going to do this?
Yeah, so my school in particular is all virtual, so I kind of have insight into what the teenage isolation is having an effect on us. And, you know, mental health is so important, and I think not having those outlets like sports and the arts is taking a toll on us. And you know, COVID-19 is something that we've never seen before that attacks physical health, but I think mental health is also being affected as well. So it's been really difficult being a teenager in this time, especially during these developmental stages, and we're not with other people our age. So.
Melanie, it sounds like I've got to wrap things up here in just a second. I want to ask you one more thing, though. So you said you haven't gone in for your second shot just yet. Once you do that, how much longer will you continue to check in with Children's Hospital in terms of how you're feeling and how you're doing?
Yeah, so after that next appointment, I'll have 4 more checkups after that over, I think, the span of 2 years. So I'll just continue to monitor my symptoms, and then a week following, every single week, I'll have to, you know, see if I test or just see if I've had COVID or anything. So it's a long process, but it's really important.
Melanie, you're doing an incredibly brave thing, and we're all grateful for that. Please extend to your parents that we are grateful to both of them as well for doing this and for allowing you to do the very same thing. You have a wonderful holiday season, okay?
Thank you.
Take care. Be well.